7th of December, Rabbi, more Parsha Hashavua. Beautiful. Hey, Mayor, sorry I was delayed. It's okay. It's okay. Okay. Hello, Rabbi. Sorry I was late.
Okay. Good. Okay. Fine. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Lou, are you still there?
Oh, sorry.
Okay. Let's go. We're up to Pasuk Yud Aleph.
Okay, good. So let's see.
Okay, yes. Okay, Lou, would you like to read, please? Yud Aleph.
Okay. Katanti mikol ha-chasadim u-mikol ha-emes asher asisa es avdecha ki v'malki v'makli avarti es hayardain hazeh v'ata hayisi lishnei machanos. Okay, so I have been humbled by all of the kindnesses and by all the truth that you have done for your servant.
Right. We have to see what this means. MS. What does that mean? What's it referring to?
Right. Because with my staff, I crossed this Jordan, and now I have become two camps.
Right.
Okay.
Now, this point of I've now become two camps is a very strange thing because till Yaakov was forced to divide it up into two camps because Esau was coming. So it's something which is not Yaakov would have desired to do in the first instance. It's only because he was forced to do it. So why mention this point? Oh, now I'm up that. I mean, I want to give you an example, right? Just imagine. Unfortunately, there's some different Hasidic and also non-Hasidic places where they, because of our ultimate dispute, they're split into two, right? So just imagine the Rebbe getting up and say, you know, I remember when we started off with just a few people, and now Baruch Hashem, we've divided into two. You know, that's not something to be proud of. Yeah. So what's why? He says now Baruch Hashem, I've got thousands and I've got 11 children and don't know how many servants and maidservants and thousands of livestock. Okay, that's something to mention. Why mention this idea? Now I've become two camps. The fact these two camps is not something which is such a compliment necessarily, or certainly something which is desirable.
Isn't he just pointing out that he has a lot of possessions now compared to when he came and he only had his staff?
I know, I agree with you on that, but why mention this fact? Why express it in a way? And now I've become two camps. I mean, Kol Oy that Esau wasn't coming, Yaakov was quite happy to leave it as one camp. It may have been a tremendously large thing. You know, it's not as if Yaakov was forced due to their numbers, right? If it became so big that he had of this huge quantity of livestock and such a large family and such a huge estate, he's got to divide it up. The management of the estate, he's got to divide it up with somebody else, and therefore now it's become two camps. Okay, so then I can understand that is an expression of the tremendous wealth and tremendous prosperity that Yaakov has. So therefore, that's it. But the reason why he split into two camps was nothing to do with the fact that he was so wealthy. The fact he split it up was because I had to be afraid of Esau.
Right.
So I wanted to say something as follows. Yaakov Avinu is saying two things. First of all, he's saying a recognition of all the tremendous kindnesses which Hashem has done for him. The Kodesh Baruch Hu's fulfilled all his promises, and he's done tremendous acts of kindness to Yaakov. But Yaakov mentioned another point as well. Kotonti. I've become small. I've become translated humble. It's a good translation. But it's also the point is I've been small, meaning I'm undeserving of all these things. So this is also what Yaakov's mentioning. When he says Kivamakli avartis hayarden hazeh, means when I crossed over the Jordan, I did have absolutely no material possessions to rely on. All I had was my stick. So therefore, my trust in HaKadosh Baruch Hu was absolute because I had nothing else to rely on. I didn't have any earthly possessions to say, well, Baruch Hashem, at least I've got my walkie-talkie or my, how do you call them? I've got my scuba diving, my frogman suit, so therefore I can be able to swim across the Jordan. He didn't have anything, right? All I had was a stick. So says Yaakov, when then I trust in HaKadosh Baruch Hu, my trust in HaKadosh Baruch Hu was absolute because I had nothing else to rely on. What's happening now? Yaakov Avinu says, now I'm already making strategy. Maybe it's better to do this, let's do that. Maybe I split the camp into two camps to make somebody survive. I'm already doing my own, trying to introduce my own strategies rather than being so absolutely reliant on the Kodesh Baruch. And in that respect, that's what Yaakov's saying, Kotonti. I'm not on that same level of trust, absolute trust in the Kodesh Baruch as I was then. So, when Yaakov says, you're right, he is expressing his tremendous wealth that he has, but they split into two. But he's also mentioning the fact that I'm splitting myself into two as a strategy to save myself. That's also an indication that I am not the same level as Baruch was or was there. Okay? Let's see the Rashi here anyway. Okay?
Katonti mikol chasadim. I have become small from all of the kindnesses. Nis ta'atu.
Look at it carefully again, the word. Nis
ma'atu zechuyosai. So my merits have been reduced. Al yarei ha-chasadim.
Al yedei,
Al yedei ha-chasidim.
chasadim.
Ha-chasadim. Regarding the auspice, the effect of the kindnesses, v'ha'emes, and the truth, she'asisa imi, that you have done for me, you have done me,
Done with me.
done with me.
Yeah, but I mean, for me, it's the same idea. What Rashi is saying is that a person, I mean, as much as HaKadosh Baruch Hu does tremendous kindnesses to a person, but it's not for nothing. Meaning, the person that HaKadosh Baruch Hu does kindnesses for somebody, then it's taken into account, and his merits are thereby reduced. Meaning that HaKadosh Baruch Hu does kindnesses for us, but it costs us. Okay, if a person is totally on this, the person's even if he's deserving of it, but it's going to reduce his how should we say his account, his mitzvah account with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Because if HaKadosh Baruch Hu does kindnesses for us, then it uses up our merits. So therefore, that's why Yaakov Avinu was afraid. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is so tremendously and so perfectly paid here what he promised me. Okay, he did not only in what he was supposed to do, meaning what he promised to do. That's our MS, but he also did that chasadim as well. Chesed means something which is given to me undeservedly, and not necessarily HaKadosh Baruch Hu promised it. Okay, therefore that's what Rashi says. Lokach ani yorei. Therefore, continue, Lou. Are you with me?
Yeah. I just what you're saying would make sense to me if it didn't have the word HMS in the sentence.
Okay, so we're going to see what does MS mean. What does MS mean?
Okay, lechach. Therefore,
we'll see in the next Rashi what MS means. Okay.
Okay.
Carry on.
Lechach. Therefore, ani yarei. I am afraid. Shema mi shehiv tach tani. Maybe from your promise to me.
Or mishehiv tach tani means from when you have promised me. Okay. In other words, after the point where you promised me all these good things, okay, from then, nislachlachti bechet, I become soiled with sin.
With sin. So he's saying that I'm afraid that after you promised me, I sinned.
Right.
And therefore, I nullified the promise.
Therefore, Rashi Vayishlach, v'yibroi li.
He's saying the effect of the sin was you said you would do X, Y, and Z for me, but that was based on the fact that I didn't sin. Once I sinned, the situation changes. Now no deal. We're back to step one.
Right. V'yigroi li, and that's what Rashi said. That's going to happen now. That's why he's particularly afraid. V'yigroi li limose b'yasov. You have that in the Rashi?
Yeah, and because of that, I
Right.
will come under the power of Esav.
Oh yeah, yeah. Actually, it's more than that. Lihimasa means to be handed over into the hands of Esav. Lehimasa means to be handed over. It will cause me that I'll be handed over into the hands of Esav. Okay.
So
Now you
that
asked
that
yeah.
that second part of this Rashi does not seem to be consistent with the first part. The first part says, I've got this bank account in Shemayim with all these merits, whatever that is.
Right.
And now the some of the merits have been taken out of my bank account because you did kindness and truth for me.
Okay.
But
No.
this second half says, no, that's not it at all. I sinned. I'm afraid that I sinned, and therefore that's why I'm in trouble.
Okay. So you have to what we have to say over here, a bit of an equation over here. As follows. That's obvious. If Akash Baruch Hu promised him all these good things, right? It's not going to be end up for him. Going to end up, should we see, working against it, because you're going to say, well, his merit credit, right? His merit credit gets used up, and now he's exposed to Esau, and he's going to lose out. Akash Baruch Hu wouldn't promise him and give him all these good things, right? If now, when push comes to shove, and he's got to meet Esau, he's not going to have enough merits left. But when will be a situation when he won't have enough merit left is if he sinned subsequently. If he subsequently sinned, therefore his whole credit rating has gone down now. His whole credit in Shemaim has gone down. And in addition, he's used up some of that credit, which he still remains to him. He's used up that credit because of all the kindnesses Hashem did for him. The two of them together now will bring him down to zero or minus even. That's what he's afraid of. In other words, it cannot be had Yaakov not been choshev that he sinned b'klal. Had Yaakov, and the situation would be that he did not sin at all. Okay, then there's no way that that Esau would have been successful in overcoming Yaakov, because Akash Baruch Hu wouldn't have showered Yaakov with good things if that's going to cause him in the end to be given over to Esau. So a big deal. Thank you, Akash Baruch Hu. Don't shower me with good things, and let me have enough merit to overcome Esau. It's only the combination of the two things together, and it's mashma as well as follows: that had Yaakov not used up any of his merits through Hashem's kindnesses, and even Chas v'sholom he may have sinned, right? He may have still had enough merits to overcome Esau. Because you're right, his sin caused a drop in his credit, but on the other hand, he hasn't used up any credit yet. So maybe he would still have enough credit to overcome Esau. But because he's used up credit, he's used up his merits, and in addition, he lost some merit because he may have sinned, so the two of them together puts him down to zero. And therefore he hasn't got any merits to overcome Esau. Lou, are you with me?
I hear you. But I still don't understand the word truth, what that's doing.
Okay, let's do the next Rashi.
Okay. Umikol good. Umikol hames, and by all the truth. Amitas divarecha. The truth of your words.
So it's more interesting. It's not making good. I guess that's what you said in English, right? I actually translate the fulfillment. Kol ha'emes means the complete fulfillment of your promises. Right? It means if I promise something and I do it, then I've made it true. Okay? The promise that I originally doing becomes truth because I actually fulfilled it. So the fulfillment of the promise makes it true. That's what we're referring to over here. That's what Rashi says. Amitas dvarecha means the fulfillment of your words.
Okay. Shamarti li that you
Amartoli, yeah.
Shamar
Ta. Yeah.
that you swore to me.
No, you kept for me.
Or that you guarded, shomer, to guard, that you kept for me. Kol hav tachos shehiv tani.
right.
All of the promises that you promised me.
Means that's what it means. Kol ha'emes means that you, Kodesh Baruch Hu, made good all your promises. You made them all true. It means you fulfilled all your promises.
But that's not correct.
Why?
Hashem promised him that he would bring him back to Israel. That hasn't been fulfilled yet. If Esav comes and kills him, then
right.
he can go to Shemayim and say, Hashem, you didn't do what you said.
You mean to say it's only thus far?
Right.
I hear what you're saying. It's a good question. I mean, he has all the promises he promised him so far.
Right.
But you might be right.
This is the most important thing because
right.
upon this promise hinges the whole fear. If he has proper amuna in Hashem, to be achol, then he's got nothing to worry about at this point, because this is a promise that was made and it's going to be fulfilled.
But then Rashi himself said he was afraid that the sin, maybe he has sinned, and therefore he's lost his right to the promise.
Correct. So,
okay.
So that would be that would be true, but why is it saying you kept all your promises and therefore what? Therefore I've lost credit, and therefore my sin is going to overpower my merits. That doesn't fit. I mean, it fits with the first part. That my merits have been decreased because of the kindnesses that you've done to me.
Right.
But it doesn't seem to fit with the truth part.
You understand? I mean, it's saying if HaKadosh Baruch Hu promised him, but the chaya, if you're going to explain that the promises come with an inbuilt condition, right? That Yaakov's got to make sure he doesn't sin. Then that's not a contradiction to that. But your point is a good point, because part of the promises which Kodesh Baruch Hu made to Yaakov was that he's going to bring him peacefully back to his father.
Right.
Shavti v'sholem ha'beis. I'll come back to my father in peace. So l'chayra, it's I don't know. It's a good point. I have to think about that.
Okay. Ki the malki.
Makli, even makli.
The makli. Because with my staff, lo haya imi lo kesef. I did not have with myself, silver.
No silver.
Below zahav, and or gold. I didn't have silver. I didn't have gold. Below Mikneh, and I did not have livestock. Ella makli levado, rather with my staff alone.
Right.
So, so that's kind of, well, that's explaining what he means when he says you've done all the kindnesses with me, because
Right.
because I've got all this wealth now and I had nothing before.
Yeah.
Okay. So midrash agada, and the homiletical explanation, nasan maklo, he put his staff biyardain into the Jordan, veniv ka hai yardain, and the Jordan split.
Yeah.
So why do I care about
What is the significance then of saying, why does he have to say B'makli? She says, Ki avarti esayar gazev atal yisish mishnei machanes. According to the nation, yeah, what is the point of mentioning the makel, the stick?
to say that he performed a miracle with the stick?
Okay, fine. It's a very nice thing. Ki b'makli avarti esayar gazev. And now, so according to the way explanation I mentioned before, the idea is Yaakov is like chiding himself. You see, when I crossed over the Jordan, all I had was my stick, but the stick made miracles for me. Okay, so I was so HaKadosh Baruch Hu was so strong that I was zocheh to have miracles. Even though all I had was a stick, that stick made miracles for me. And now I'm relying on strategy now. I'm relying on splitting the camp. So therefore, that according to that pshat it's more understandable why it mentions Kibbutz Makli is referring to the why he mentioned the fact that the staff, the stick, actually made the miracle for him. Okay, I think we'll have to.
Yes, it's time.
I'm sorry, I had to step away. I have something coming up at 1:30, and I had to take that call.
Okay, it's 1:32
Okay.
now. Okay,
Okay.
all right, we'll leave it here. Okay.
All right.
Okay. Yeshkaya, Lou.
Thank you
Very
so
good.
much.
Okay. Have a good day now.